All right, here we are. It is Sunday night. And hey, Idaho Garden Girl, you are first in. Nice to see you. Yes, number one. I love it. Yes, winner, winner, chicken dinner. I got a prize for you. Let's hit that there. I'm so glad you're here today because I think you're going to like this topic. We are talking about hormones, aging, and your health. And I know that is right in the area of things that you are interested in. So, what's new? What are you planting? And are you harvesting anything yet? Let's see. Yeah, I've been out, spent 2 days outside working the garden, pulling weeds, and I'm tired. Yeah. Yeah, good. Good. Yeah. So it's pretty important. I wanted to bring up this topic just because I'm getting so many questions around it. And so I feel like it's got to be not just, it's got to be more than just me and more than just the people who ask me. So we're going to share this with the audience and I'm still trying to fight my darn cold. So you had stem cell platelet-rich plasma injected in my hip. Oh yeah, you need that recovery time for sure. Has your pain level, did it come down? I know when I'm done here, I'm gonna just lay down. My back is sore from all the lifting and bending. And I always tell you guys too, make sure that you take breaks, which I did, but it's a lot. It's just a big, two big projects back to back yesterday and today. And I was supposed to have some help, but I didn't. My daughter's friend is here, so I'm trying to rope him in to help him with some of this stuff. Sorry, I will be muting regularly just so I don't cough into the microphone. Oh, good. So not having any pain. Good. Yeah. It stopped the degeneration. So also, what I'm going to be talking about today is going to go right along with that. So I'll just go ahead and get into it. So we're talking about hormones, aging, and your health. And most of the women who come to me, they want to have their hormones tested. They say, I think I have a problem with my hormones, and they want their hormones tested. Now, I will test hormones. I usually like to get a baseline on hormones, but I also will do a gut bacteria test. And I will also do just general lab work, general blood work. And the reason for that is because, yes, we can see these fluctuations in hormones. However, the hormones are further downstream. I'm going to wait till my daughter's done mixing her drink. Hey, Uncle Al, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. So, can you hear the cacophony? Are you guys? Maybe it's not coming this far. It's going in my ear. Hey, Happy Mac. Yeah. It's my daughter. Can you hear the rattling? Can you hear it? Hey, Mark. How are you? Nice to see you in here. Come on in. So appreciate you guys being here. It was just me and Idaho Garden Girl for a minute. She was getting a private workshop. She doesn't mind. All right, so we're talking about hormones. So a lot of people want to have their hormones tested, but there's a much no, I'm making supper. Yeah. So just to put the cart before the horse real quick, the Dutch test is like the gold standard. So that is definitely what you want to be using, because it will test the hormones. It will test a bunch of other things that are more upstream than the hormones themselves. So so you're in the right place. So that's good that you're going to do that. And it's a great you'll get some really, really good insight from that. So yeah, I'm curious to know. You can always share that with me, what it came up with. So also, if you're here, make sure you hit the subscribe button or the like button, and share this out, because people need to know what we're doing. So what we want to do is we want to be able to see where your baseline hormones are, and then go upstream, as I said, and get information that has led to why the hormones are doing what they're doing. You can treat hormones. There is hormone treatment. The problem is there are so many things that you can and should be doing that disrupt the hormones, so that so if you just go and you treat the hormones and you don't do anything that I'm going to talk about as far as what led to why they're wonky, you're going to be completely missing the mark. Okay. Thank you so much, Uncle Al, for that. Yes, it does. Uncle Al, you roast, would you say 108 degrees? I saw that somewhere. 108 degrees, zero humidity, no wind. Where are you? I thought you were in are you in California? Are you like in the desert? Okay. So what causes hormone disruption? This is our basic lifestyle. So one of the things that happens is we get so much exposure to plastics. We can blame things like plastics. We can blame things like chemicals. We can blame body care products. But you also have to pay attention to this, because you can limit a lot of that. But if you think at all that, and again, I'm talking to, we're talking about women who start to get, go into premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, the hot flashes, any woman who's had issues with irregular periods, infertility, breast cancers, polycystic ovarian, fibroids, any of those things. We're also talking to the men, because right now with men, we have a major issue, because the sperm count in men today is half of what it was 50 years ago. And that's a problem. So our fertility rates are way down, and much of what's affecting fertility for men and women, again, that's hormonal, is what is happening in our environment. So we can't just throw medication at it. We have to also put those pieces into place that have caused us to take this downward spiral. So Mark says, I've been doing the Holomua. I don't know what that is for heavy metal detox. I don't know what that is. I might need to look that up. Is it so? Okay. How long do you do it for? What is it? Do I need to look that up? So heavy metals play a role. And I'm gonna. Oh, I see. I'm looking that up here. Okay. Live toxin free. Okay, cool. I will look into that. So let's just go, we're going to go to childhood. Okay, so we have little kids, we have young girls who are getting their periods at 8, 9 years old, who are growing breasts that young as well. Much of this is because of what are called hormone disruptors. I've had these conversations on this show before in varying forms, so you can feel free to go and check out some of the other videos. So we get early breast development in young girls. We get young boys who are growing 6'5", and both of their parents are 5'6". So much of that comes from the hormone, the growth stimulants in our foods. So think chickens, cows, any of the meats. And so what happened was that the meat industry, like, they're no longer allowed to put antibiotics in, let's say, chicken, but they can genetically modify the chicken to grow faster. So they're pushing the growth hormone of the chicken through genetic modification, so they don't have to use growth stimulants to make it grow faster. And so they can't put growth stimulants, they can't put antibiotics, so they genetically modify it so that you basically like bypassing that. So they found a workaround basically. So now your kids are eating those foods, and those growth regulators are now getting into us. So this is where we have to really pay attention to, and I'm going to talk about our food supply first, and then we'll talk about some other environmental things that you can be doing. So hold on. Okay. The cough doesn't come until I start coughing, which is really a bummer. So Happy Max says, stop buying after coming across woody chicken breast. What is that? That sounds disgusting. Hey, Prepper 101, nice to see you here. Thanks for being here. So growth regulators in the food, that's a big deal. Then we have the other chemicals. So we're talking the biggest detriment to us is glyphosate, which is Roundup. And so I just heard this today that it was glyphosate Roundup. Let me look this up. Glyphosate, it was banned in glyphosate. Let me see. Banned in which countries? So glyphosate has been banned in Belgium, France, and the Netherlands. They banned it for household use. Germany, which is widely known as the house of chemicals, has also forbidden glyphosate from being used publicly. So household use means that the farmers can still use it. It just means that the household use just means that the regular everyday person can't get their hands on it. So if you're still eating mainstream food, you're still getting glyphosate. And it is so toxic that this is one of those forever chemicals. So if you saw that video, I think that one I did last year, I did a couple of different ones on glyphosate and the forever chemicals. So woody chicken is from genetically engineered fast growth chickens. That is disgusting. Lord. So we've got the glyphosate, and that is, the way that works is they have these Roundup ready crops. What that means is that, let's say it's corn, so Roundup ready corn. And so the farmers can come through, spray the whole crop with Roundup glyphosate, and it kills everything except the corn can keep growing. So it's really, really dangerous. So it goes into the ground, it stays there, it does not disappear. I was saying, I think it was last week, that somebody had commented on one of my videos, not a regular subscriber, but somebody had commented on saying that glyphosate doesn't stay in the ground forever. And I'm like, and he's telling me to get my facts right. And I'm like, dude, I don't know who you are, but you better go do some studying up on that. So it stays in the ground forever. It's been shows up. In fact, over 200 chemicals have been shown to be found in the cord blood of pregnant mothers. So these chemicals are a severe detriment. And so when moms are pregnant and the babies are born, the babies are already born with a hormone disruption because of all of that chemical insult. And so this is also leading to why 50% of all kids today have some kind of chronic health issue. So, I always say too, we have to look at the gut, because all of these chemicals cause damage to the lining of the gut, what are called the tight junctions that are supposed to keep food and chemicals out of your body system. And what happens is these chemicals break those tight junctions so your body can then absorb whatever it wants. And this is what leads us to endocrine issues like, thyroid issues, breast cancers, sorry. And then all of these crazy growth issues, infertility. I mean, we could just keep going down the list. I have a 4-year-old that I'm working with that I tested, and he's glyphosate toxic. He's at about, it's supposed to be 0 in our bodies, and he's at 80%. His mom is really upset because she said, we don't use any cleaning, traditional cleaning products. They don't use any chemicals in the house. They don't spray. They grow chickens. They grow their own food. She's very, very mindful. And I said, unfortunately, it probably was in you since you were a little girl. So it can get in us and it can stay in us, and it can really be the reason that we have so many health issues. So personally, if you're going out and you're thinking, what's happening, I've been from, doctor to doctor to doctor, and this is typically what I see in my office. And then they come to me and I go, well, we need to test for all of these other things that nobody knows to test for. We can also make the guess, and then just treat for it. But really, oftentimes when people come in and they're that severe, we need to test and not guess. And that is really the bottom line, is let's test, not guess. Prepper, you are always so funny. Hey, P Squared, did I see you already come in here? Nice to see you. Yes, so history, Agents Orange and Blue. They chemicals that just don't go away. And so, they can cause birth defects. And what we also know is that the chemicals themselves can cause birth defects. The chemicals also cause severe nutritional deficiencies, which can cause birth defects. So we're just running this uphill battle. And this is why I really want to impress upon you why it's so important for you to take matters into your own hands. So growing your own food, so you know where it comes from, but then what's in your soil, don't spray. I have a new guy doing my lawn, and he said to me, we need to fertilize your lawn. And I said, why? And he said, because it'll look so much better. And I said, my lawn is perfect just the way it is. I'm not putting any chemicals on it. I'm outside in my bare feet all the time. I have a dog. And the answer is no. So we're not doing that. Okay, so then we have, bear with me, you guys. How many weeks has this been now? And get rid of this damn cough. Yes, it is scary, P Squared, for sure. All right, so we have stuff that's in our soil. We have stuff that's in our being sprayed on our food that we don't have any control over. Hey, Grammy Karen, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. So what I want to talk to you about is what can you do then within your own environment to make sure that you are limiting your exposure. Now, if you go out to a restaurant, of course, I always say, if you go to Denny's, if you pull up in the parking lot at Denny's, you've lost the right to ask, is this farm raised or wild caught, right? Like you just know. So there are going to be times when you're going to have to, eat certain food or be in an environment that you can't control. And Roundup has a radioactive waste. I didn't know that, actually. I know it's a good one, Mark. Think about that, right? So, hold on. I'm trying to think if I'm going to cough or not. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I'm on the struggle bus on this one. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so what can you do? Because it can get, it can feel really futile. It's like, no more Denny's. You're like, oh my God, what should I do or what can I do? So don't spray your lawn. Your neighbors are going to spray enough. You'll get some overspray. It's okay if you have some clovers. It's okay if you have some dandelions. It's fine. Like, it's fine. The healthiest lawn, I have the healthiest lawn in my neighborhood because it is so diverse in all of its growth. So, this goes to the looking good aspect, right? A lot of people are taking weight loss drugs so they can look good, but they're becoming more metabolically unfit. So we're sacrificing longevity for the sake of vanity. We can't do that. And so that's how I feel about my lawn. I don't need my lawn, I define look good, right? Like look good is, it looks great. I look down and I know that my lawn's healthy when I see, be like, oh, there's a violet growing in my lawn. Like that's how it should be, right? Nature is going to nature. And the more we mess with it, the more it will mess back with us. Get a goat for the lawn. I know. I would love a couple of little baby goats. It'd be so fun. So that's it. Start with the outside. And then of course, on the inside of your house, we have to talk about cleaning products. So the only thing you need to clean is baking soda, a little diluted vinegar, and some essential oils, maybe some lemon juice. And I don't, the goat will mow and fertilize the lawn, right? That's how it should be. The goat will poop and then it tamps the poop into the lawn and it starts that carbon cycle. It's so healthy. So, better to look good than feel good. You look marvelous, right? Exactly. That's an old one. You're going back in time for sure. So cleaning your house, stay away from harsh chemicals. Don't use bleach. Bleach is actually what's considered an asthmagen. So what that means is it not only flares up somebody's asthma, but it causes asthma. If you don't have lung problems and you use bleach, you will develop lung problems. It's terrible. So anything you can use inside your home that is natural, biodegradable. We use a lot of coconut-based products. And then we get into things like laundry detergent. Your laundry detergent, if you think about that, if you're using the chemicals, you're lying down, you're sleeping for several hours, you're breathing in those toxic fumes. So what do all of these toxic chemicals do? These are called hormone disruptors. Now, what does that mean? It means exactly what it is. So they are going to shift and change your hormones. How? Well, every hormone in your body and just about every cell in your body has hormones for different things, hormone receptors. The hormone itself will go to a receptor and it's like a lock and key. So the receptor is the keyhole, the hormone's the key. And it goes in and it turns things on and turns things off. That's a very just simplistic way of thinking about it. But what happens with these hormone disruptors is they look exactly like the key. And so they go into the keyhole and they stay there and they don't turn anything on or anything off. And these hormone disruptors are 20,000 times stronger than your natural hormones. So they kick out your natural hormones. So your body can't function the way it needs to. So then what happens if we just think about this from an estrogen perspective is that, excuse me. From an estrogen perspective, if we have too much estrogen in our body, the estrogen is going to go somewhere. So a lot of the plastics, the chemicals, the fertilizers, they're estrogen mimickers. Again, 20,000 times stronger than your normal estrogens. So they'll kick out your estrogens. They'll lock up the keyhole. Your estrogens have nowhere to go and don't necessarily know how to get out of your body. So it starts to build up estrogen around different places in your body, like the lining of your uterus. This is called endometriosis. It can start to form cysts on the ovaries, cysts in the breast, fibroids. So polycystic ovarian cancer, and anything fibrocystic going on in the breast and the reproductive organs. So we get this buildup. So this is where a lot of women that would have these issues, they go in and you get the diagnosis and then you're put on some kind of a medication. They might even put you on birth control, which is estrogen, which is more synthetic estrogen. which actually only perpetuates the issue, because what they're trying to do, so let's just say if you have endometriosis, it's a very painful um, situation. And so in order to regulate a woman's periods, because with endometriosis, they can tend to be just really wild and painful and heavy. And so the doctor will put you on the pill to regulate your periods so that you don't have these like awful painful periods. But it doesn't fix the problem. It's just putting more synthetic estrogen in you. So we have all of these different places that these disruptions are coming in to us. And so we have to start being mindful of what can we do on the outside of things. Hormone replacement therapy. Well, yeah, I know, right, Mark? Except this is such a great comment. Mark says, actually, I should say Dr. Nicolaris says, makes me glad I'm not a woman. Phew. Okay, but men, you're not off the hook, right? So let me bring up these stats. Okay. So, goodness, so sorry. I'm trying not to do that in the microphone and then I forget. Okay, let's see if she's. So I talked earlier about sperm count in men is half of what it was 50 years ago. So that's a problem. And a lot of it is because of these forever chemicals. The other problem, so here, worldwide fertility has dropped more than 50% over the past 50 years. So that's fertility in men and women. A man today has only half the number of sperm his grandfather had. In some parts of the world, a 20-something woman today is less fertile than her grandmother was at 35. So we're seeing a lot of young women who have, it's called premature ovarian failure in their 20s. Damage from a man's or pregnant woman's exposure to problematic chemicals and lifestyle influences can harm the reproductive health of multiple future generations. So we have to really pay attention. There is, and these are quotes I got from Dr. Shanna Swan, and she's really amazing that because she's done this research on forever chemicals and fertility. And she also talks about in her book, penis size has gone down, that fertility rates, sperm count is directly related to penis size. So we have men have smaller penises, Mark. Okay. So yeah, I know you're saying you're glad you're not a woman, but because of this, we have, hold on. Okay. We have men with smaller penises and get this, 40% of men over 40 have erectile dysfunction. So what I'm talking about is not isolated to women. Everybody has to pay attention to this because this has ramifications that will span future generations. These things can go, we are changing our genetic makeup as we speak, and this will get passed on to the next generation. So this is why you must pay attention, man or woman. Lord. There you go. Yeah. Endometriosis for years, no pill, but a hysterectomy from the fibroids. Let's just take all those organs out. You don't need those. I mean, this is what the medical model has. So my goal by having these conversations with you guys is to get you to recognize that, and P squared, I feel badly that was your path. That you didn't know me 30 years ago, 25 years ago, but the hysterectomy because you have fibroids or endometriosis is not the answer. And unfortunately, many women don't know that there's another way. So this is where working with someone like me in functional medicine, we do estrogen detoxes basically. So I help you to I help get your body to get rid of the environmental estrogens, the excess natural estrogens. We talk about diet, we talk about liver function, gut function. All of that has to be on deck in order to get this thing turned around. Now, another really good thought process here, a really common thought process, P squared, is that you're fine now because you had the hysterectomy. But I know things you shared with me, and we know you're not fine. And the problem is that you had a hysterectomy and nobody told you. I'm gonna go on a limb and say no one said to you, okay, now we have to talk about why that happened and make sure that your body gets healthy from it. Because sometimes it can be an emergency and you might need that surgery because it's been going on so long and it's drastically affecting your quality of life. But who has said to you, and this is really common with gallbladder surgery too. Take the gallbladder out, makes everybody think they're just fine, but they give you zero information on why did the gallbladder go bad to begin with. You see, our organs are not supposed to fail, you guys, right? Like we're not deficient in hysterectomy, right? We're not deficient in a gallbladder removal. Like our bodies are supposed to work perfectly, and the body will do its best to survive until it can't. So these are really, really big problems for us, and that we need to start thinking about we need to think about the downstream effects, and that's generational. And then we have to swim upstream and start saying, oh, why did I have that surgery? Why did my organ go bad? You know, why couldn't I have children? Why, um, wasn't planning on kids. Yeah. Yes. So, and just because you don't plan on procreating doesn't get you off the hook for stepping into a healthier future. Indiana, ash from burning plastic. That's interesting. Um, we've also talked about the train derailment down in Ohio, just south of here, that I think they were off gassing that for many, many months because our skies were white all last summer and all it smelled like was burning plastic. And they tried to tell us it was the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. And I called a huge BS on that. So, yes, I'm still coughing, Uncle Al. It's like, ugh, oh my God, it's really annoying. Yeah, so it was emergency surgery. No one talked about it. No one gave her any guidance. And I'm grateful that that you have found me, P squared. So I know. I think I'm gonna have right before I came on, so I've been making my homemade chicken stock. I don't know if I talked about this. So, it's health related. So we'll talk about it. So I made my tablespoon of raw honey. Oh yeah, that's what I need like right now, stat. Um, so I have a huge stock pot and I made another pot of because this wasn't going away and I'm like, what's going on? And I realized I ran out of my broth and I hadn't made more. So I went out Friday and I got about 2 pounds of chicken feet. So that's the base. And then I got a whole chicken, threw all that in the pot, tons of sweet onion. I did a butternut squash. So I peel that, take the seeds out, throw the butternut squash in there. I did parsley, cilantro, garlic, a bunch of other herbs from my garden, carrots, celery. It's basically whatever you have on hand. Throw it in a pot with water, a bunch of sea salt, and just boil the heck out of it. And yes, the chicken feet, Mark. And why the chicken feet? because they are filled with collagen. So if I showed you the pot of broth, it's like it's like jello. So it's so nourishing. So it's actually really great if you have any digestive issues because that collagen goes in and it heals you from the inside. And I think I told you guys I was having like a weird esophageal thing when I came back from my trip a few weeks ago. And that's all I was doing was drinking the broth. And it just has super healed me. So, and as far as 2 cloves of garlic, so I have a salad waiting for me, and I made homemade salad dressing with fresh lemon, olive oil, and a gigantic clove of garlic. Chop that up, and then some herbs from the garden. So that's sitting over there. So that's waiting for me. So I will have lots of garlic, lemon, olive oil with my salad. I've got some beef short ribs going in the pressure cooker. So it's all the thing. I'm doing all the things that I always tell you to. I know. It says, I know you can't think about it. You just have to turn your head to it. But it is right. Nothing better. It's creamy. It really is very healing. So hold on. Okay. Yeah. So I promise you, try it. If you make broth, it's just a great way. And then what I do is I pick those out. I pick the chicken out, and then I throw the chicken back into and debone it, and then I basically cook it so long so that everything I've put into it just disintegrates except for the bones. So I pull those out, and then I take any chunks of like I've used acorn squash. I take chunks of that's left. I throw it in my Vitamix with some of the broth, and then I just blend it, throw it back into the stock. So it is so, oh my gosh, it's just so thick and yummy. Swallow 2 cloves of garlic. Okay. All right. I got a whole bunch of fresh garlic right back there. Okay. Okay, Dr. Uncle Al, I will do that. Thank you for that. I'm feeling resonating with the raw honey. I don't use the pressure cooker because I make so much that my pressure cooker isn't big. I literally have a stock pot that is like, it's massive. It's what I use for canning. Because it starts big and then it cooks down, and I want to just load it all up. So yeah. So I have used a pressure cooker if I have to make a quick batch, but when I have time to do what I did, I just make sure I throw it all in there. So so those are really the broth, the garlic, these are all really healthy ways to keep yourself healthy and then try to get yourself back. So talking about like when I was sick a couple of weeks ago, and then Dr. Eric and I were having this conversation on Chiropractic is Sexy last Thursday, and just talking about how if I wasn't as healthy as I am, so I try to keep my nutritional tank full. And that means everything that we're talking about today. So good nutrition, high quality sleep patterns, lots of hydration. I don't use cleaning products other than what I was telling you, vinegar and baking soda in the house. We don't use any chemicals on the outside. We use natural cleansers for our laundry. We don't use Glade plugins, things like that. So everything that I'm telling you, we really, it's a very low environment in my house for hormone disruptors. We use coconut-based cleansers, body washes. We use all natural lotions that don't have any chemicals in them. So everything we're putting on our body, except there's probably something in my makeup, I would guess. I haven't been able to really find anything there, but yeah, I know, put a hole in your stomach. So everything that I'm talking about today is everything that I do. And also because I was sick, because you guys see like whatever this thing is just lingering, I'm stepping up the game even more. Right. So eating more healthy foods. Like I was like, oh my God, I hadn't had the broth in a week. I got to get that on deck. So sometimes you just really have to step up the game. I've been outside all weekend, lots of good vitamin D, lots of fresh air. That's it. You have to think about if you have any health issues whatsoever or past. So, like, let's say P squared, who had the hysterectomy, that means that she's without specific organs that are required for hormone production. So automatically, if you've had any organ removed, automatically your level of hormone production is less than, right? So, so sorry, I completely lost my train of thought because I'm trying not to cough. Okay, so what that means is that you have to be even more aware of all these little things that we're talking about. And you're going to want to tune into Reset Monday tomorrow, because on Reset Monday, I'm talking about what you can do each and every morning, not just on a Monday, that will set the tone for your day from a health and wellness perspective. So make sure you tune in on that. And so Mark, you could absolutely do the same thing with bone marrow broth. So like, I'm making beef short ribs. Well, beef short ribs would make an excellent broth because you have the meat, you have the fat, you have the bones, and so you're going to get the cartilage in there. You could throw some marrow bones in there as well. That would make an excellent broth. I haven't done a beef broth in a while, but like whatever comes out of that goes into a jar. Right. So we'll eat the beef short ribs, and then the broth, that's, that'll be, I don't know how much liquid I have in there, but I might get a pint of beef broth out of that. So that absolutely is good for you too. And the tailbone. Yeah. So like oxtail makes really great broth. So anytime you can add the marrow and the bone, because you're extracting, you're leaching out all those nutrients in the bone and the cartilage. And just as we talked earlier about when we eat food that has been genetically modified and or has had hormone regulators in them, so growth hormones, or like I say, genetically, the animal's been genetically modified to grow fast, and to grow. It's kind of like a Roundup ready chicken, if you will. So it's the same thing. It's like if you're eating that stuff, it's going to make you sick. So if you make the stuff that isn't that, it's going to make you healthy. So it's just the opposite thinking, right? So you're like, oh my God, chicken feet, that sounds gross. But it's really like, you want to get all that collagen in there, and you want to get, you want to get the calcium, you want to get all that goodness in there. So, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid at all. Yeah. So let me know, do you have any questions with regards to hormones? So I want you to start. Hey, Rick, nice to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate you stopping in to say hi. So I want you to start with, we always start with diet, clean up the diet. Look at your household. What do you have in your household? So many people have, Tide, right? Using Tide or Gain or any of those mainstream type laundry detergents. Get rid of those. Stop it. There's a lot of natural, like I say, you can get the coconut based ones. You can just throw some baking soda into the washing machine. That works well too. I've done that with essential oils. That works really well. Yeah, try it with the bone marrow. And oh, wonderful. Thanks. I appreciate it. Let's see. So Rick says the club I used to eat at chicken feet are very popular in the Asian community. Yeah. And then, Chef Tech at the cabin, just chilling. Nice. Good. Well, hey, I appreciate you popping in here. Thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button, please. So before you now listen, just going back, I want to recap a little bit of what we were saying is before I mean people are pretty intuitive, right? So you could be like, yeah, I think something's going on with my hormones. And you're probably right. And again, that's where we get a baseline. But we have to put all the other players into place because if we don't, then just throwing drugs at the, hormone replacement, estrogen and progesterone, testosterone, any of that, that's not going to be as effective. We have to get all of the other things. You have to get those disruptors out of your body, out of your environment, or they're going to keep disrupting and you won't get the benefit, or you're going to go crazy trying to figure out a dosage, on like hormone replacement therapy. So I'm not against HRT by any means. However, I think you guys understand where I'm coming from is that we can't, this is like eating fast food every day and then just taking a whole bunch of supplements thinking you're going to offset it, or you're going to go on a run, or you're going to exercise it away, and you can't outrun the fork. So this is really all I'm saying here. And, a big problem that women are running into, especially in menopause and postmenopause, is, we lose estrogen. And estrogen is a huge anti-inflammatory friend. So we really rely on estrogen to help with, help with the inflammation in our bodies. Well, the problem is that when women go through menopause, and men, this is where, if you have a woman in your life, you have to pay attention because you need to be able to support her. A lot of women feel very unsupported when they go through menopause because their partners don't take the time to even attempt to understand, because oftentimes they'll make it about them, right? Or they'll take it personally. And it's like, if a woman's estrogen is going down, she's going to be in more pain, more joint pain, because it's anti-inflammatory. There's a huge correlation between women and frozen shoulder and menopause, because again, the estrogen goes down, the inflammation goes up, and it affects the shoulders. So there's so much menopause, yes. So there's so much that that women go through in this process, and of course, we can talk about the hot flashes. Estrogen goes down. We have these incredible hot flashes. Some women more than others. We'd like to say that the healthier you are going into menopause, the less likely you'll get those symptoms. And that's somewhat true, but there's also still other variables that we have to look at too. So so there is a way to regulate, to make sure what, especially women, if you're going through any, if you're premenopausal, we want to get you at that premenopausal place so that we can start to supplement with to support your estrogen while you still have it, because estrogen does really well when you've actually supported it in the process. It's less likely that estrogen therapy later on down the road, after you've gone through menopause, will have as big of an impact. That's not 100% true statement, but that's really what the data looks like. So if we can get you early on, that's really going to be the best benefit. So let's see what Vince Shred has a test boost that addresses cortisol and how it impeded test levels. So far, so good. Vince Shred. Is that another one I got to look up? Hold on. Okay, looking this up here. Okay, I will look that up. Yeah. So, and again, it's testosterone levels drop way down with these forever chemicals. So, shampoos, conditioners, cologne, shaving cream, aftershave, all of that stuff. So from a, man's perspective, if you have to take testosterone, if your testosterone is low, you have got to pay attention to the forever chemicals in your environment. Otherwise, again, it's like eating at McDonald's every day and trying to take supplements to out supplement it. So, Uncle Al says, my ex-girlfriend stabbed me during menopause. Why do I think that you are not joking? I feel like you are 100% like legit truth on that. Back to baking soda for laundry. Yes. I use about a half a cup to a cup, and I would also throw a little vinegar in there too. Vinegar or peroxide. So I discovered that whole, oh gosh, my back is so sore so I power washed for 2 hours yesterday, and then I pulled weeds for 4 hours today. I'm really sore, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go do some yoga stretches when I'm done here. Sorry, I digress, Grammy Karen. So one of the things that I do when my dogs, but then recently Bentley got sprayed by a skunk, is I mix a little bit of vinegar. So in a gallon jug, about a half a cup of vinegar, about a half a cup to a cup of baking soda, half a cup of peroxide, and I use apple cider vinegar. I'm going back. And then just a drop of Dawn dish soap because it gets the oils. I know Dawn dish soap isn't, I would recommend against it most times, but it pulls the oils. So we were trying to get the skunk oil out. So you wouldn't use that in your laundry. But it's that combination of it's the baking soda, the vinegar, and the peroxide. And then that causes that like OxyClean effect. And so sometimes I'll combine all of it and throw that into the wash, depending on what I'm washing. Like if I'm washing my workout clothes, I'll use that. So, but yes, about a cup for the average load. And menopause messes with the brain because we have estrogen receptors on our brain. We have estrogen receptors in our joints. They are everywhere in our bodies. And so when we lose estrogen, it affects everything for us. And again, this is why we go into chronic pain, chronic, joint pain, and then the hot flashes, and that's just the most common one, but it can just span everything. There's also estrogen receptors on your thyroid. So a lot of women, this is when they'll experience autoimmune thyroid issues. So we have to pay attention to this. Yeah. Hot flashes were brutal. Great for your cold feet. That's great. And it's a good talk he gives. Okay. Yeah, I will definitely check that out. And Peace Girl says, no wonder I hurt. Right. I know. It's crazy. So, it's just paying attention. Now, the other thing too that I did not mention, probably the most important thing, if there's the first thing that you could start with, I'll tell you, hold on. The very first thing that you could start with, men and women, if you want to increase testosterone and all your other hormones, you have to be lifting weights. You must. You have to be doing hard physical work is what I'll say. So I didn't go to the gym today and I didn't do yoga because I knew that, I moved a wheelbarrow full of rocks. I moved 20 16 by 16 concrete, brick pavers, moved those from one end of the yard all the way to the back, one by one. And I could have put them in the wheelbarrow, but I wanted the workout. I knew like I say, I didn't go to the gym and I didn't go to yoga. So if I'm going to skip that, then that's because I know that what I'm going to do in the yard is going to be hard physical labor. So if you're not doing things like that, lifting, bending, squatting, really challenging your muscles and your joints, you've got to get into the gym. You have to start pushing weight, especially women, because this actually is one of the biggest drivers of, oh, hold on. Okay, I don't know what just happened to my camera. I didn't do anything. Hold on, guys. Let's see. Do face cam. Oh gosh, there we go. Okay. I didn't okay, that was really dumb. Somehow I got muted too. Oh my god. Ah, goodness. Okay, third, yeah. Yeah, legit. Uncle Al was not joking. He got stabbed. Oh my god. I was cooking dinner. She came in screaming about being I don't know what that emoji means, but oh my gosh, that is crazy. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so let's see, what was I saying? um, lifting weights. So you have got to start pushing the weights. You have to start doing good, hard physical labor. Rain coming in. It's been the weirdest day. It was supposed to be like 95 today. It's 74. It's been cloudy, sunny, windy. It literally has been spring, summer, fall all day. I like every 10 minutes it was a new season. It's so crazy. Anyway, but luckily I got everything done that I needed to get done. Uh, okay, so first things first, you can clean up the home environment, but get out and start exercising. If you are worried about your hormones, and again, men, you should be. If there's prostate issues, if there's gut issues, if you think you have low testosterone, you have got to get in the gym. You have to be lifting weights. So that would be my first and foremost piece of advice is, and again, if you want to have your hormones tested, if you want to have any labs, you can reach out to me. I can do that work virtually. I do a lot of my nutrition clients virtually. And so we can work together that way. If you have issues that you haven't been able to find answers for, I will do all the proper tests. The traditional tests are not, they're very basic and they don't give us that much information. They don't get to the root cause. So I am here to get to the root cause. And so if you think you have issues with your hormones, I'm going to do tests outside of the hormone panel as well as the hormone panel that are going to tell me why the hormones are wonky. That will give us our baseline. So when we put all of the other pieces into place, we can then watch the hormones and we can watch them shift and change. So Mark says, I got a used 12 SP, been hauling butt around, working back to the skateboard, got dumbbells. What's a used 12 speed. Okay. I'm like, what are you talking? Okay. So you're riding your bike. Good. Yes. Yes. Great for the cardio. Oh my God. Skateboarding. How fun. That sounds amazing. I don't think it was Bentley. He's under my feet. He literally has not moved. Like he's laying on my feet and he has not moved. So I know, but we could blame it on him if we wanted to though, right? I know. All right, you guys. So listen, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. Let me know if I can help you. Like I said, I do take patients. I can work with you virtually. We can do everything through a virtual platform and get you to the right places. If we have to run tests, I just send you to one of your local labs and we can get everything we need to start working with you to get you back to where you need to be. And if you're like P squared and you've had organs removed and nobody said to you, well, we're going to remove these organs and now you're going to be fine, or nobody said to you, now we need to talk about why we had to remove them, then we need to talk. We need to do some coaching, look at your food plans, look at your detoxification pathways, your genetic pathways, and get you on the path to better health. Okay. All right. We are is 6:59. We're almost to 1 hour. And I think in an effort to save my next cough for being offline, I'm just going to say thank you everyone for being here. Make sure tomorrow you watch Reset Monday because you're going to like where that one's going. Again, just 3 super simple little tips for you. It's 9:40 tomorrow morning. And it's nice and quick. And I think you'll like that one. And that's going to start to set you in the right direction. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me, drop them in the chat, and make sure you share this so that we can continue to grow. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. See ya. Bye.